Emmanuel Macron is having a week that he would like to forget. First, the icy exchange with US President Donald Trump at NATO. After his return to France from London, Macron is now facing perhaps the biggest protest of his presidency. There is a mass general strike in France today. More than 200 demonstrations are planned across the country. The majority of the working class has not turned up for work. Rail stations, air traffic control, schools, offices, they all bear a deserted look. People have staged a mass walkout. Many of them are on the streets. Rail services, for one, are off. 82% of the drivers are on strike. At least 90% of the regional trains have been cancelled. About half of the Eurostar trains between Paris and London have been cancelled. Tourists have been turned away from the Eiffel Tower. Air travel has been badly hit. Hundreds of flights have been cancelled. In Paris alone, 11 out of 16 metro lines are shut. People do not have access to public transport, so this morning many were forced to hire bikes and scooters. So why are people angry with President Macron again? This is about the proposed changes to the French pension system. The French pension system has dozens of schemes. What President Macron wants to do is to create a unified points-based system. This new plan will reward workers for every day they work, which should be good. The points they earn can be later transferred into future pension benefits. The plan, though, has received a mixed response, and those who aren't happy have gone on strike. Wion correspondent in Paris, Elena Casas-Montanez, sent us this report earlier today.
We don't actually know in any detail what the pension reform is. All that we know is that the French government wants to go from a current system where there are 42 different sets of rules about pensions depending on your profession to one where there would be one set of rules for everybody. And a number of professions are worried that they're going to lose out on special entitlements like the ones that train drivers have, for example, which enables them to retire as early as 53. But for the majority of French people, even if they don't benefit from any of those special privileges themselves, they're concerned about the creation of one regime for everybody because they're worried that means watering it down to the lowest common denominator and that in the end, everybody's pensions will be lower.
There were some reports of clashes between the protesters and the police from the city of Lyon. Pictures on social media show the police using tear gas and shields to push back the protesters. In Paris alone, 6,000 police officers have been deployed. The protesters are not being allowed near the Champs-Élysées, where we saw violence during the Yellow Vest protests. There is no doubt that there is deep discontent within France today. For President Macron, this presents yet another challenge. A report claims that the French president was, quote-unquote, calm and determined despite the opposition.